Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm so excited about networking with everybody out there. We're live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. My first guest is Jillian Fulton, and she's the owner of Glow Co Med Spa and Wellness. First of all, Jillian, I gotta tell you, you look fantastic. You have a story, and it helped you, obviously, probably what helped you, inspired you to start this med spa and wellness. I want you to talk a little bit about yourself and your story and what happened to you and what you accomplished in a year.
Well, thank you for having me back. So about 2 years ago, my dad passed away, and he did not take very good care of himself, as some of us don't. We just kind of put it to the side. And had he done that, come to realize, I think that he would still be here. But I started having a lot of medical, issues. My blood pressure went up, and I was getting swollen, and I was short of breath. It was a lot. And I decided, I need to do something. I don't want to leave my kids the way my dad left my sisters and I.
Mm.
So I did, and so I started losing weight, and I've lost 100 pounds.
100 pounds.
And people ask me how I did it, and here I am.
And you're here to talk a little bit about this. Now, how did you do it?
I use GLP-1s, so I use medical, medication with medical weight loss. I use a couple other things. Everyone is so different. There's hundreds of things that you can combine and use. For me, GLP-1s worked, and for some, others don't. And I have lots of options, too, for those things. But it's a wonderful, wonderful journey that I've been on.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and you really do look fantastic. Also, you're growing. I want you to talk a little bit about that because, before you came on, we were talking, and I cannot believe that more and more people want telemedicine today more than anything, which is awesome. But you also have places where they can go. So let's talk a little bit about that.
I do. I have two places. I have my office right now in Queen Creek, Arizona, and I am currently going to be opening soon. Don't have a set date yet, but we'll be talking about that on the next show. I'm sure the set date will be any day in Gilbert, Arizona. So we will be there, and it's going to be I do a lot of telehealth now, like and I love having everybody in person, so that's my goal. We're going to open the brick and mortar, and we'll have a lot of aesthetics, and we'll do the medical weight loss and wellness and functional medicine there.
And I think because you have walked in their shoes, most people who are looking to lose weight, I think it's awesome that you said the last time that you were on that, Carol, you love to be able to get in on their story and kind of help them through that journey. And being the fact that you have done such an incredible job yourself, you can help somebody really do that.
Yeah, I really learned. It took some transformation to myself too, as I started building this business, but to realize, there is always kind of a reason why we're carrying around those 100 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it's a medical reason, right? And other times it's not. We have a lot of things, like I know that, for a small example, I grew up in a family where we had to clean our plate. We had to clean our plate. Grandma said, Italian grandma cooked homemade food, that's what we had to do. So that was one habit that I had to change, right? And that's, you think it's a small habit, and it's not when you've been doing it for a very long time.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that we work on.
Now, we're going to open up the lines to the audience, and she mentioned that a lot of people love telemedicine to death, telehealth. And we're going to do something that is pretty interesting, that because they're going to get, it's a kit that you offer. It's a 30-day home kit that's of peptides. So you do this on your own. And
Yes.
I asked you, people don't mind doing that on their own. And what did you say?
They love it. They just, the convenience of the telehealth, they get on the 15-minute call with me. We go through all their medical history, everything. We talk about what will work for them, what their goals are, and it's shipped right to their house, and they're just off and running. And I have to force them to give them directions and everything and make them check in with me, but they just love the convenience of it.
And you said the first time that you were on that this 30-day, these home kits, they fly off the shelves.
Yes, absolutely. I can't keep them in stock. I have people texting me just before we came on air, I used my last shot, where's my refill? And I already have it set, we're going to be refilling, and people just absolutely love it. Peptides have taken off. It's new. It's all over the internet. It's
And
all over
for both men and women, right?
Absolutely. There's all kinds.
So we're going to open up the lines to the audience for everyone to be able to call throughout the rest of the show. It's a 30-day home kit of peptides. So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. everyone's just getting entered in to win, and, who's the lucky winner, right?
We'll find out.
We're gonna find out. Now, I want you to check her out on her website, which is glowcomedspa.com. Their phone number is 480-770-2633. Now, one of the things that we also talked about, and I think this is really important to mention again, is that you focus on functional and holistic approach to wellness.
I do, I like to look at the root cause. So for example, just taking in the weight loss piece, a lot of times we run some labs, but I look at everyone's symptoms because I don't believe in just labs and numbers. It's a whole package that we're looking at, and we can find inflammation, we can find a little thyroid issues. I oftentimes find a lot of hormone issues, and we optimize those things. And I absolutely love when I get a message from a patient or even a phone call. I feel absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. I don't know, don't know where I would be without you. So that's what keeps me going.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it.
I think that's awesome. So we have our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. It's a 30-day, it's a home kit that you're gonna get of peptides. And our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. She does free consultations, and a lot of everything is done through telehealth.
Yes.
But you also have the 2 locations as well. That
Absolutely.
one is gonna be coming up soon.
Yep.
Which is the one in Gilbert. Now, you also say balancing inner health and outer beauty. That's what you do. I want you to mention what you mean by that.
The inner health would be your functional, holistic medicine side where I look at that root cause, but the outer beauty is I absolutely love aesthetics. So microneedling, we do Botox and Juvo and chemical peels, and actually this morning I just hung up with a rep for something called VAMP. And we'll get into that one day, but it's a salmon facial, but it's salmon DNA, and I microneedle that into.
It sounds perfect for people who need oil in their
Yeah,
skin,
yeah.
the old folks like me.
They love it. They build the collagen. It fills some of those wrinkles and those fine lines. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh, it could go on and on and on
It
and
could.
on. Now, you also just recently got nominated for something special. I want you to tell everybody what you got nominated for.
I did. I was nominated for Emerging Business Leader of the Year through the Gilbert Chamber of Commerce.
And how long have you even been in business?
Since the end of December.
See? So I'm telling you,
Yes.
folks, this is pretty awesome. She's walked in your shoes if you're looking mainly to lose weight. If that's something, she can really help you with that. She lost 100 pounds in a year, which is so awesome. And by the way, you just look fantastic. A lot of times when people lose a lot of weight, sometimes, you could really see that they're still got a lot of skin there and things like
Yeah.
that. You can't tell like that on you.
And I
at
just
all.
had this conversation with the rep this morning too, because what that is I do the microneedling once a month, just like I'm supposed to for 3 months, and I try to keep all that skin where it needs to be.
That's awesome. And now you can check her out on her website. It's glowcomedspa.com. Her phone number is 480-770-2633. They do free consultations. Most everything is done telehealth, but you can go to her location in Queen Creek. Also, soon opening in Gilbert. We've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. It's a 30-day home supply that you're going to get. It's a home kit.
Yep.
She can't keep them on the shelves, folks. And so it's of peptides that you're going to get. And our number here is 602-277-5369. And toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. The whole idea is, number one, is to really go from the inside out, from inner beauty, right, to the outside, and to look and feel your best.
Yes.
Right? And again, we've got our lines open here. We want everyone to call throughout the rest of the show, and our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. She cannot keep these kits on the shelf. They are flying out, and the reason why is because everybody loves them. So we've got everyone getting entered into win. It's a 30-day home kit of your peptides, which is awesome. And our number here again is 602-277-5369. Check her out. It's glowcomedspa.com. Hang tight. We're going to be back in just a minute. Okay?
Really good.
That's okay. I think
Good.
we did. I hope I'm doing okay.
Oh, stop.
Now, but we've actually almost gone all the way down here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so we've even gone here. So we've kind of, let's see.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
this
know
would be
what to
good.
say with that. Let me think about that.
Well, I think, you know what I would say, what does it look like? What's their first, when they call you and talk to you, what's that
Yeah.
look like?
Okay.
That
All right,
would be
that's
the
a good
best
one.
thing.
I'll just
Yeah.
go with that.
Yeah. And I also liked when you spoke about how you like to walk on their, you know, that journey with them.
Mhm.
I mean, that was something that I
Yeah,
remember that you
definitely.
said, yeah.
I like to get personal. I really like to get personal.
Yeah.
And I get really involved in their stories, like their personal stories, and for their kids,
Right.
whatever's going on in their life, I love it. Like, I'm not, don't say this, but like, I make notes on them, and I
It's
don't
okay.
memorize them,
But you know,
and
you
I
have
go
to.
back and I
Everybody,
look.
we all do that have clients,
Yeah.
right?
And I have a couple that I'm like, how's she doing? You know, and I know them a little better,
Sure.
so I'll message them, I wanna
Mhm.
check in on you.
Now, the last time you were on that, you mentioned that you do also go to Colorado and Utah. Are you still doing that too?
I do,
Oh my God.
I do, but I don't, I don't
You gotta
advertise out
focus
there
on that.
yet.
I'm gonna take that off of there.
I need to, and I'm so overwhelmed with opening this
Yes, that's
brick
what I
and
was just
mortar
thinking.
thing.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about that on the way here, I'm like, cause I'm also starting to license in Washington, I have to go do my fingerprints, cause that was my goal and plan in the beginning, this whole telehealth thing that took off. But now this brick and mortar thing, I'm like there's
No.
one of me, how
I know.
do
I know.
do I
Well,
give up the other states thing?
There's
you
too
know?
many, when something comes by that's such a good
Mhm.
opportunity,
Yeah,
you
How
can
do
put
you
the other
pass
side,
it?
it doesn't mean it doesn't have to happen, it might just not happen right now.
Yeah.
That's all.
so I feel like yeah.
Yeah.
Facebook Live something.
You have to tell her your
I'll tell
story.
her.
I hope
It's
she's
hilarious.
here that you could tell her.
That's amazing.
What's that?
That's amazing. That's
Oh, yeah.
great.
Can you do me a favor and send that ad to me, Easy Pooling, cause we needed to change it from, 105 tickets to 80 tickets, and I don't remember if that got changed or not. So welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Jillian, I said Jillian Fulton, and she's the owner of Glowco Med Spa and Wellness. And for anyone that's just tuning in, first of all, she lost 100 pounds in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them again how you did it.
Medical weight loss,
Yeah.
I use, medication.
Right,
Yeah.
and I wanna talk a little bit about that, because a lot of people, they have different thoughts about it,
Mhm.
right? Let's talk a bit about why it's so fantastic and why it helps so much for, not everybody, but for most people.
Yeah, I actually tell this story to all of my incoming patients, and I try to relate to them because it's so relatable, but one of the medications that I use often does, that I can't name on air, but I use it, and it gets rid of food noise. Now, at first I said, what is food noise?
I was gonna ask you.
So, it's funny because I used to, let's say it was a Monday, I would tell you on Monday that on Friday, I'm going to Texas Roadhouse and I'm going to have their wonderful rolls and butter, and I'm gonna have a steak and an iced tea, and I would eat that for dinner and be happy. That's the food noise, like that planning out that
Thinking.
food, and or I want a crumble cookie, or whatever it is.
Right.
But you're planning that out and you're eating the way you kinda shouldn't be, it's not just a treat, but I did that a lot, and I did that all the time. And I'm also a very emotional eater.
Most people are.
Yeah, I'm happy, I eat, I'm sad, I eat, I'm stressed, I eat, you know what I mean? Occasions and weddings and all these things, I just eat because we love food.
Mhm.
So it was getting rid of that food noise.
And I think that's what's really hard too, is people have to eat,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's really hard. That's probably one of the hardest things that people have to deal with, is that weight loss, right?
Yeah.
Now, most of what she does today is telehealth, which is so awesome, and people are loving that. But she also has 2 locations. One right now is in Queen Creek, and the other one is going to be in Gilbert, soon to be opening. And what we've done is we've opened up our lines of the audience for everyone to get entered in to win. This is a 30-day home kit that she said these kits fly off the shelf. She cannot keep them on the shelves of peptides. And she also said they're the hottest things right
They
now.
are, they absolutely are, people absolutely love them. We use NAD+, which is for clarity and people feel more focused. It's actually called a reverse aging peptide.
She's looking at me. Okay, go ahead.
But there's also some weight loss peptides that are more natural than some of the prescription medications that I use, and people love those too. Peptides go everywhere from B12 vitamins to NAD+.
And I asked her, I said, people don't mind,
Yeah.
giving themselves shots, and no, they don't.
No, absolutely, they will.
That's
I give them
really fun.
directions and we talk about it and they're okay,
No
they're off and
problem.
going.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
So we've got our lines open here, and I'm letting everyone call throughout the rest of the show for this 30-day home kit. It's of peptides, and our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. So when someone calls and they're going to get that consultation, what does their first visit look like?
Their first visit boringly starts with some paperwork, right, and consents and everything. But then after that, I love to get on the phone with them, or when if they're coming in, which is great too. And I like to get personal. I like to know some of their story. I want to know why we're going down this journey together, because that's really what we're doing. And I really like to push that home. This isn't just for them. This isn't just them. Like, I'm in it with them. And a lot of the times we relate because I tell them my story, and everyone has one. And somewhere in that, it intermingles together, and we just are off and running together, and then that's what I love. But a huge part of that first meeting is personally getting to know each other, getting to know each other's stories, because that's how we work together. We make a great team when we keep going and move forward.
And so the other things that I want to kind of talk about are some of the other modalities and the things that you offer for people as well.
Well, I love aesthetics, so I love the skin, the microneedling. I had said on the last segment, I hung up today with the VAMP. It's a salmon peptide is really what it is, salmon DNA, and you were going to start microneedling with that. And I do a lot of Botox and Jeuveau, and those fillers that everybody loves too. Chemical peels are getting really, really popular as well, and I absolutely love those. And soon, when I do open the brick and mortar in Gilbert, we're going to start PRP therapy. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I do know what that is.
Yeah, let's start with that.
I also want them to know a little bit about you, not just that you lost all this weight, because you come from a medical, your background. I want to talk a little bit about that.
I do. So I was a registered nurse for about 20 years, and I started in special ed. I have a daughter that has autism, and I stayed home with her for a long time, and she was diagnosed very early. She was about 2.5, and I did all her therapies and everything, and I had to go back to work, and we were talking about this earlier. And when I went back to work, I wanted to work in schools to be on her schedule, and then I wanted to be closer to her too. So I started working in special ed, and I did that for about 15 years before we moved here, and I absolutely loved it. And I moved up into more administrative now, which is something that I do as well. But those are my roots, and I love those, and I would go back any day.
So let's go back and talk a little bit about the weight loss part of everything, because that's huge. And I want to know how long it took. Or let's say, when you say, we always said you did it over a year, but let's say you started doing it. How long did you start seeing before you saw a little bit of a difference?
I think
I want to know what the journey was like. I want to know your story.
I think everybody saw a difference before I did, but only because we are our own worst enemy. So when I started getting the comments of like, oh wow, you look like you lost some weight. Oh, but there was one day, it was about 3 months in actually, and I was in my closet and nothing fit. And I knew things were getting looser, and I knew they were getting bigger, but literally nothing fit. So where I started pulling things off hangers and making piles. And then I couldn't let go of those clothes though, because I was like, well, what if I need them? Like, I mean, I've had them for so long, like, what if I need those clothes? But
Don't we do that? And most of us do it the opposite
I
way.
know, we all have.
Someday I'm going to lose that weight, I know.
It was fun though, it's been quite the journey. So since then it kept coming off, because I had to do my part, you gotta walk and you have to exercise and I drink the water, and I started consulting with a nutritionist a couple of months ago for my patients. So every month, I have her make personalized menus for all the patients based off their calorie intake and what they're supposed to be doing a day. So every month, the first of the month, we send out personalized menus for each patient, and it has 3 meals and 2 snacks. And they can pick and choose what they'd like off of it, but it fits all of their points that they need to be on, whether it's protein, your water intake, your calories, your fat, your carbs.
It's personalized.
It's all there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So again, you can check her out on her website, which is glowcomedspa.com. Her phone number, she does free consultations. It's 480-770-2655. 6733, both men and women, I wanna repeat that.
Absolutely.
You know, and again, we have our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. It's a 30-day home kit. These kits fly off the shelves and they're of peptides. So our number here is 602-277-5369 and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. And I'm gonna let everyone call throughout the rest of the show. When you're working with people and we're talking about what they have to do, obviously eating is gonna be one of them. So they have to be on some kind of a program also to, maintain that. Is there ever a point, and I just have to ask this, because I know how hard it is for everyone when they go on a diet and all of a sudden they plateau. Did that happen?
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So normally we see people plateau where there was some point in your life where you lived at that weight for about 5 to 10 years. Just religiously, your body is used to that point. And sometimes no matter how much medication I give you or what we do to try to add water, keep walking, increase all these things, your body just wants to live there. It's like muscle memory. And we get through it.
So, but they can get lower than that, right?
Absolutely.
Right,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
That's the
Because
goal.
I know that our body does have that, right? And as we get older, unfortunately, it's harder and harder and harder to do. I never had to think about weight when I was younger, and then all of a sudden now after children, right?
Yep, we carry it.
It's just amazing, but the older that you get, all of a sudden, it's like, why are things so much harder all of a sudden? We have 2 minutes, I want you to kind of tell them things.
Okay, a lot of reason to hormones. So if I have somebody really stuck and I say, well, let's take a look at your hormones, and 90% of the time that's what we find, and we start to optimize those, and off they go on the weight loss again, and they feel a lot better.
Right.
Hormones, you get cranky, you don't sleep good, your libido's down, everything's off. So
Mhm.
once we correct that, they're very happy.
Now explain also, because you would like to focus a lot on hormones, but again, the testing that's so different than, when if you just go to a doctor and say, oh, can you just do a blood test on my hormone? It's different.
It is, there's 2 different ways. So we do regular blood tests because I like to look at the thyroid as that ties into hormones and everything, and I wanna look at numbers. We do Adams questionnaire, so that's a really big questionnaire for hormone therapy and just kinda what their symptoms are and how they're feeling, because I really like to listen to the person. Sometimes those symptoms don't match up to the number that's on paper from the lab, so I talk to the person instead and I go off their symptoms to optimize that.
And you said you're all about the numbers.
Yes.
Absolutely. If you want to lose weight, she's the person to talk to, especially if it's a lot of weight.
Yes.
It's one thing you want to lose 5 or 10 pounds, but
Mhm.
when you want to lose a lot of weight and having somebody there on that journey that has walked in your shoes, and you go along with them.
Absolutely.
You really do.
Whole time.
Again, you can check her out on her website. It's glowcomedspa.com. And again, her phone number is 480-770-2633. She's located in Queen Creek, but she's gonna have a new place, a brick and mortar in Gilbert. She also does mostly telehealth. Everybody wants it just
Yep.
delivered. It makes it so simple. And we're gonna keep our lines open here for everyone to get entered into win. It's a 30-day home kit that she says they fly off the shelves, so you can't keep them in, of peptides. So our number here is 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100.
Thank you.